The more things change, the more they stay the same, right? Well, no. You see, your parents taught you that. Being good parents and all, they wanted you to grow up properly, so they taught you what they knew. And they were taught that phrase by their parents, who were correct at the time. You see, in your grandparents' era, the more things changed in a world that moved very slowly, change was hard to see happening. A bit like a frog in a pot. They say that if you were to drop a frog into a pot of cold water and just heat it gently till it boils, the frog won't even notice, and eventually as the water boils, so would the frog. Put a frog straight into boiling water, however, and it would jump right out. Well, change, like the water, is boiling right now. It's happening constantly, and we need to be aware of it and respond to it appropriately. Change in our lifetime has moved very rapidly indeed, largely thanks to the 5 driving modern forces of change. That's computing, communication, connectivity, collaboration, and convergence. If we take a brief look back in living memory to the time in 1969 when astronauts landed on the moon, it was when the era of computing really came into its own, into the 1970s. In fact, back in July '69, one of the most advanced computer systems in the world was installed by IBM at Mission Control at Cape Canaveral. IBM boasted at the time that the entire system at NASA headquarters had an astonishing 6 megabytes of memory. And the Apollo 11 lander, the Eagle, well, that had just 64 kilobits of computing power on board. Today in your kitchen, a toaster that can tell if your bread is frozen or even needs just to be lightly toasted has got more computing power in it than the Eagle ever did. That's a toaster. If we jump to the 1980s and look back at the cutting-edge communication technology of those days, the first mobile phones were only launched around 1985. They weighed a kilogram. They had a talk time of just 30 minutes, and they needed 10 hours to charge. There were only 5 million of them in the world by the end of the 1980s. And today, well, there's just over 7 billion mobiles in the world. And new ones entering the marketplace? How's this? 5 million a day. That's what gets sold every day, right now. Do you remember the launch of the internet back in the 1990s, when we moved into that era of connectivity? On a state-of-the-art dial-up connection then, which meant, by the way, you couldn't use your phone at the same time, it was amazing. You got the web at speeds of up to 14 kilobits per second. 16 million people were connected to the internet at those speeds by the end of that decade, and they were blown away. It almost seems laughable now, doesn't it? With our 4 megs per second broadband downloads. But I bet you're one of the 3 billion connected people who not only take that for granted, but often moan about how slow it seems to be. The new decade of the 2000s saw the emergence of social media, and the era of collaboration was upon us. Social media was a phenomenon of that time, and although MySpace was first out of the blocks, it was Facebook that came to dominate the platforms. 100 million people were connected to it by 2005. Well, today there's nearly 2 billion of us using social media, and all of us collaborate and Google the planet seemingly constantly and completely. Everything today is now right where you are, across all platforms. Someone senior at Google recently said this: innovation that used to take a generation now just happens in weeks or months. So what's happening in your world, in your business, in your life? Are you feeling the current heat of the temperature? A bit like our famous frog dropped into the pot? It's time to wake up, to put some Vuma into our lives, to think outside of the pot and to actually feel the heat. That's what you, your life, your business, your bank has to think about every single second of every changing day. It's called Vuma, and we know where to find it. It's right here, right now, and you're an integral part of our new Vuma mission. The Vuma journey started in May 2014 and got off to a relatively quiet start. We had an innovation crowdsourcing platform, and whilst we communicated what we were looking for, the spark didn't take immediately. You see, the idea of crowdsourcing was a bit foreign to our staff. The principle of crowdsourcing is that more heads are better than one. By canvassing a large crowd of people for ideas, skills, or participation, the quality of content and idea generation will always be superior.
People in IT have had this pent-up demand to be innovative. So really what we're doing is we're just unblocking all the obstacles and giving them the platform to be innovative. Embrace it, be there, be counted, vote, comment, participate, have the fun.
Innovation is about unlocking those new ideas, exciting people about new things for the future that helps us get that sustainability of the bank going.
All I can ask is keep on Vuma.
You see, people don't get into IT to be put into a box. They're problem solvers and builders, the engineers of a digital age. And due to the continuously changing nature of the IT environment, challenging the norm and scouring the horizon for new solutions has become a necessity. The first campaign really picked up momentum towards the end of the idea phase, when it became clearer to staff how their ideas could be taken forward, with the top ideas and contributors being invited to the first ever Standard Bank Hack Jam.
So many different people, different teams, lots of people that you've never met before, never interacted with, but suddenly you're all part of this big team that had an objective, essentially do or die on that day. You know, you've got 60 seconds to convince somebody that your idea is passionate, that this is something worthwhile investing in. So the innovation is going to help us have happier people, people who want to come to work, people who want to make a difference in people's lives. So let's go out there and let's achieve it. Let's get innovative.
Post-Hack Jam, the Vuma effect went positively viral. Staff went back to the office after the event and were so buzzed that literally everyone across IT had very quickly heard about Vuma. Corridor talk spread faster than any traditional comms campaign ever could. But the Vuma effect was also felt across senior leadership of the bank, with a number of senior execs talking about Vuma and what IT was doing to make innovation come alive.
So for me, Vuma gave us the opportunity to take people out of the work environment from different areas of the bank, throw them into a room with a whiteboard and let them collaborate and come up with different ideas and solve problems in ways that we normally wouldn't in the bank through our normal working practices.
Vuma is important to Standard Bank. It's because it will allow us to realize our digitalization strategy. It gives us the opportunity to explore and to come up with creative ideas to solve today's problems for tomorrow. Vuma, the technical energy of having fun. Get involved.
Thinking different is the purpose of our new Vuma program for 2015. What's the point? Well, it's all about the point. The projects, objectives, information, networks, and transparency we need to set for ourselves inside Standard Bank. We want you to think about having projects, not just having a job. Measurable, successful projects that define you and your career, as well as setting Standard Bank apart from the ordinary.
It gets people in the teams excited. There was a comment from someone that how can I go back to my day job on Monday after having been exposed to all of this. We need your ideas, we need your creativity, we need your expertise, and that's the only way we are going to be the bank to beat.
We all need objectives, or targets if you will, that we can look to deliver against, to meet and celebrate along the journey. Isn't that so much more exciting than the idea of just coming along to work every day and doing, well, work? Information is key to all of us. Access to it, decisions taken with it, knowledge today represents power. The Vuma we get from being in tune, in touch, and in control. Networking is another fundamental part of our journey, connecting through the bank and its systems to people to be able to deliver better, faster, more relevantly than anyone else who wants to play in the same arena. And then there's transparency. open hands, open cards, and a clear resulting vision that we all identify with and can share in. We need to consciously create our own futures, to rediscover the passion and purpose that we felt on day one. Do you remember that day, the day you signed for your job here at Standard Bank? How you felt? Man, I got the job at Standard Bank. Well, if you woke up this morning and you weren't quite feeling that way, you need to put some Vuma back into your life. Vuma represents the energy we all need. But don't just take my word for it. Let's ask some of our colleagues. Here's Peter.
Hi, Michael. Great to be talking to you and Brenda on Skype. How the world has changed. Gone are the days where we just used to phone each other on the phone. Now we have a proper Skype call. And when we think of innovation, we have to use that as a backdrop as to how the world is changing. But most importantly, how our customers' expectations and requirements are changing. So gone are the days where customers used to come into branch 9 to 3 in the afternoon. Now they want their transactions to be delivered digitally, anywhere, anytime, anyhow. And we have to provide that to customers. And that's where innovation is really, really important. So as the world changes, our best way of ensuring that we remain relevant and sustainable is to anticipate our customers' changing needs and to make sure that we are providing relevant, open and agile solutions to those customers so that they can indeed bank with us anywhere, anytime, anyhow in a very easy and intuitive way. So when I think of innovation, I'm super, super excited when I look at the Vuma program, what IT are doing. It's been a tremendous help for us. If I look at the hackathons, the code jams, you guys are really pushing the envelope and working out how can we deliver IT capabilities and new capabilities to customers in a better and faster way and make it easier and simpler for our customers to use. So I'm super excited about what you're doing. You people are doing an awesome job. Please keep going. But you've heard enough from me. Let's listen to Brenda, our Group Chief Information Officer, and see what she has to say. Over to you, Brenda.
Thanks, Peter. Good morning, Michael. You know, Peter, when we started our IT transformation journey at the beginning of 2014, we realized that the transformation of IT would involve a culture change and not only a reinvention of the IT strategy. So when we started out, we knew that we needed to do something to reignite the energy and the passion of our people, to get the mojo back into IT. And so the word Vuma, which has become synonymous with our IT campaign, with our innovation campaign, I should say, Marius actually came up with that word. And for me, it was such a powerful word, an emotive word. It engaged my heart and mind in the innovation campaign. So innovation, we started the process in 2014. We had our first Hack Jam, and it was an incredibly successful event. But it was just the beginning and a sneak preview of what's still to come. We started off around saying, how do we innovate around our IT strategy? And as you know, Peter, our IT strategy, there are 4 key themes that we are driving: time to market, quality of service, affordability, and sustainability. And the first 2 campaigns were around affordability and around time to market.
Wow, guys, that really is fantastic. Just in closing, Peter, if I can ask you one last thing. Those 3 winning ideas from Hack Jam last year, they were amazing and they were innovative. Just give us a brief description, if you will, of what those were once again.
Yes, Michael, I was really excited when I saw the 3 winning ideas. The first one was a kids app. Now that app is really interesting in that it uses gamification and teaches kids how to be able to manage money, to be responsible, how to save and move money and transact. And it's got a lot of gamification and interesting ways of showing kids how to do this, and it improves the level as the kids mature. And that is a fantastic way for us to be able to appeal to the youth and make sure that we lock in those customers into a Standard Bank proposition and migrate with them as they become adults. So that's really exciting. The second one is our emergency services. So we're able to offer a number of emergency services on the ATM. One of the things that we think of is if somebody's held up at gunpoint, for example, and they have to draw money under duress at the ATM, that they can enter a unique PIN. And what it does is it reduces their daily ATM limit and closes the card. So instead of thieves being able to make off with 5,000 rands worth of cash at the ATM, now maybe they can get away with 1,000 rand and the account is closed. So that's also a very interesting one, a sad reflection on the times that we're in, but a necessary one where we're looking at it from the customer's perspective, which is how innovation should be viewed. And the third idea is a mini merchant. So we're trying to create an ecosystem of small merchants who are able to tap in through digital platforms to go and buy goods at better rates and services using our business banking customers and suppliers, and they're able to get delivery much more efficiently and effectively right to their premises as part of this community, and using the Standard Bank ecosystem to be able to procure preferential and better deals.
Thank you both so much. I can see and feel that you've really both got the Vuma, along with all the other innovative employees right here at Standard Bank.
Michael, there's just one more thing I'd like to add. You know, innovation is not just about innovating gee whiz solutions. For me, innovation is about people, our people. It's about me and you. Innovation requires us to take ideas and to grow those ideas. It's the end-to-end ecosystem that we've tried to create with the Vuma platform. So it's around everybody participating. It's around giving the ideas, those seeds, food and water to grow and to germinate. So that's why it's really important that we don't see innovation as something that only the kind of geeks can do. Innovation is something that all of us can participate in. We can participate to grow those ideas into real tangible solutions around how we improve the way we do things, around how we innovate solutions for our clients, and how we innovate our business.
Thank you, Michael. Great chatting to you and Brenda. I must just stress once again how proud we are of the IT community. You have taken this innovation challenge and you've grabbed it with both hands and run with it with passion and enthusiasm. You are building a much better bank, and our encouragement is to keep pushing the envelope, keep making sure that we build a bank that's much easier for our customers to use, that's much more agile, much more relevant. We know that our future as Standard Bank is very bright, with passionate, enthusiastic people like you building the best possible bank we can on the African continent. Thank you so much.
You see, Vuma is all about recharging. It will help us optimize our performance and encourage a new sense of purpose and vision. We intend to challenge the status quo, and by doing so, we're all going to see a new journey and win. But wait, there's more. How might we enable the digital Bank of Africa? With Vuma, baby, that's how. And I've got Vuma by the bucket load, living a life that's greater than anything I ever dreamt of before. I've got more respect, more satisfied customers, more friends than you could even shake a stick at. You too can have all this Vuma. More Vuma than a rugby player on steroids. More ka-ching than you'll ever find in a casino. I got my Vuma from Standard Bank. And wait, there's more. Because you too can have all of this Vuma. It's coming to you real soon, right here, right now. Watch this space. Make sure you're ready for Vuma. You're in the right place, at the right time, and it's right now. Rediscover your Vuma, share in the excitement and passion, and reap the rewards. Let's put more Vuma into Standard Bank.